Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future knowledge adventures.
Sounds good.
Today, we're going to be tackling a question that's both intriguing and a little controversial.
Ooh,
Did Carl Sagan,
I like it already.
the astronomer who brought the cosmos into our living rooms, actually entertain the possibility of ancient aliens?
It's so fascinating, isn't it? Because we think of Sagan as this champion of scientific rigor, but he was also a man with just this profound sense of wonder
Right.
and a willingness to explore ideas that were maybe outside the box.
Exactly. And to try to unravel this puzzle, we're going to be looking at a couple of key sources.
Okay.
One is Sagan's own book,
Okay.
Intelligent Life in the Universe,
Right.
where he lays out his thoughts on extraterrestrial life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is The Sagan Conspiracy by Donald Zygudis,
Okay.
which delves into some of the more controversial aspects of Sagan's work.
All right.
So one thing I think is important to remember going into this is we're not setting out to, prove or disprove the existence of ancient aliens.
Right.
Instead, we're trying to understand how Sagan, with his very scientific mindset, approached this often fringe theory.
Exactly.
So to set the stage, Sagan was very fascinated by Fermi's paradox.
Right.
That head-scratching question of where is everybody?
Mm-hmm.
If the universe is so vast and so old,
Yeah.
statistically speaking, there should be other civilizations out there.
Right.
So why haven't we met them? Why haven't we encountered them?
Yeah, and Sagan really took this paradox seriously.
Yeah.
He argued that even if a tiny fraction of civilizations in the universe had reached the level of technological advancement where they could travel between stars,
Yeah.
the galaxy should be teeming with them.
But where are all the cosmic tourists
Yeah.
and their interstellar RVs?
Exactly. That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
And to grapple with this question, he proposed two models for finding extraterrestrial intelligence.
Okay.
The first is the Drake model, and this is the one that most people are familiar with.
Yeah.
It focuses on searching for radio signals.
Right.
This formed the basis of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, which is still actively listening for those telltale signs of alien communication.
And the Drake equation is all about kind of estimating how many civilizations there are out there that we could potentially talk to.
Right. It's trying to put some numbers on this very big question.
But Sagan also had another model up his sleeve, didn't he?
He did. And this model is sometimes referred to as the Sagan model.
Okay.
And it takes a very different approach.
Okay.
Instead of searching for signals,
Right.
it suggests looking for physical evidence of past visitation right here on Earth.
So think like archaeological digs
Exactly.
instead of giant radio telescopes.
Yeah.
Maybe those ancient cave paintings weren't just early humans doodling,
Right.
but actual records of alien encounters.
Now that's where things get interesting and a little bit more speculative.
Right.
But Sagan's point was we shouldn't just limit ourselves to just radio signals. We need to be open to other possibilities, even if they seem a little far-fetched at first.
And I know that Sagan was a very strong advocate for scientific rigor.
Oh, absolutely.
He wasn't about to jump on the alien bandwagon just because it sounded cool.
No.
He needed evidence.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
But it does seem like he was at least willing to entertain the possibility.
Absolutely. He was open-minded.
Yeah.
He understood that what we know about the universe is constantly changing.
Right.
And we need to be willing to challenge the things that we think we know.
He used that great analogy about an Algonquin war canoe
Oh, yeah.
encountering modern New York City.
Yes.
Just imagine trying to explain skyscrapers and cars and smartphones to someone from a completely different time and culture.
Yeah, you probably think it was magic.
Right. And Sagan argued that if a civilization millions of years more advanced than ours were to visit Earth,
Yeah.
their technology would probably seem indistinguishable from magic to us.
Exactly right.
So does that mean that Sagan thought that maybe ancient astronaut theories actually hold some truth?
Well,
Like the idea that aliens visited Earth in the past and influenced human history,
right.
as popularized by authors like Erich von Däniken. Did he believe that?
Well, not necessarily. He acknowledged the possibility,
Right.
but he also really emphasized the need for critical thinking and scientific evidence. He wasn't one to just accept things at face value, especially when it comes to something as profound as ancient alien contact.
So he was walking a very fine line between scientific skepticism and open-mindedness.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't just dismissing the idea outright.
No.
But he wasn't ready to jump on the spaceship either.
Exactly.
He was intrigued, but he demanded evidence.
Right.
And I think this leads us to another important point that Sagan made.
Okay.
Which is the challenge of interpreting ancient texts and artifacts.
Oh, absolutely.
He argued that it's easy to misinterpret things through a modern lens, especially when we're dealing with cultures that are so different from our own.
It's like trying to understand a joke from a completely different culture.
Yeah.
It might not translate.
Exactly.
And you might miss the punchline entirely.
So just because something on like an ancient temple looks like a spaceship doesn't mean it actually is a spaceship.
Exactly.
We need to be careful
Yeah.
about projecting our own interpretations onto the past.
Absolutely.
And this is where Sagan's approach to these ancient astronaut theories gets really interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't just dismiss them as complete pseudoscience.
Right.
Instead, he kind of offered a more nuanced perspective. He argued that what we perceive as supernatural events and ancient myths and legends could actually just be misinterpretations of advanced technology.
It's like imagine showing an iPhone to someone from the Middle Ages.
Right.
They would have no frame of reference for understanding what it was or how it worked.
Yeah.
They might think it was a magic mirror or some kind of sorcery.
So instead of saying that aliens built the pyramids, maybe they just gave ancient humans some helpful tips on engineering or astronomy.
Yeah, and those tips could have been passed down through generations and become distorted and embellished along the way.
And that's how we end up with these stories.
That's right.
Of gods and otherworldly beings.
And it makes you wonder how our own understanding of technology will be interpreted by future generations.
It's so interesting to think about.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so Sagan believed that encounters with advanced beings would likely be interpreted as divine or supernatural by societies that were less developed.
Right, because they wouldn't have the context to understand what they were seeing.
And then those interpretations would then go on to shape their mythology and their worldview.
And their entire culture could be influenced by these encounters.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
So instead of focusing on, did aliens build this? We can ask, how might encounters with advanced technology have been interpreted by people thousands of years ago?
Exactly. That is such a great way to frame it.
Yeah.
It opens up a whole new way of thinking about these ancient mysteries.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
All right, I'm intrigued.
The Galian equivalency principle.
Ooh, okay, well, I'm ready.
So what's that all about?
It's a thought experiment that asks us to consider whether the difference between an advanced extraterrestrial being and a god is really all that meaningful.
Hold on. Are you saying that aliens are gods?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
The idea is that if a civilization has technology so advanced that it just seems completely incomprehensible to us, wouldn't they essentially be godlike in our eyes?
I mean, yeah, they could control energy. They could manipulate matter.
Right. Maybe even travel through time.
Yeah.
How would we be able to tell the difference between that and what we think of as the powers of a god?
That's mind-blowing.
It really is.
It makes you question our whole concept of what the supernatural is.
Right.
Like, what if what we think of as divine intervention is just advanced technology that's way beyond our current understanding?
That's the heart of the Galian equivalency principle. It forces us to confront the limitations of our own knowledge and the possibility that what seems impossible to us today might be totally normal for a civilization that's millions of years ahead of us.
Okay, I need a minute to process all of that.
Take your time.
So we've got Sagan, the scientific giant, acknowledging that ancient aliens are a possibility, but demanding that we have real evidence. We've got the challenge of figuring out how to interpret ancient texts and artifacts. And now we have this crazy idea that the line between gods and aliens might be blurrier
It's all connected.
than we thought. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think the next logical step is to explore Sagan's interest in ancient Sumeria.
Okay.
This is where we really start to see the alien gods theory take shape.
Right.
And where Sagan's nuanced approach to this topic becomes even more apparent.
Let's do it.
Are you ready to dive into those ancient Sumerian mysteries?
I am so ready. I can't wait.
All right, let's go. See you in part 2.
I'll be here.
Welcome back, everybody, to our deep dive into Carl Sagan and ancient aliens.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that Galian equivalency principle.
It really makes you think.
It really does.
It challenges everything we think we know about the universe.
Yeah, like what if our ancient myths aren't just stories, but like garbled attempts to describe encounters with beings whose technology was so advanced.
Right.
It just seemed like magic.
Exactly. And that brings us to Sagan's fascination with Sumeria.
Right.
This ancient civilization that popped up in Mesopotamia around 3500 BC.
Like way back.
Way back.
They developed writing and mathematics.
And astronomy.
Yeah.
Really sophisticated astronomy for their time.
It's like they just skipped ahead in development.
It's remarkable.
It really makes you wonder if maybe someone gave them a helping hand.
Right. And that's what a lot of ancient alien theorists point to. But Sagan... he was always cautious.
Right.
He was intrigued by these intricate cylinder seals that the Sumerians left behind.
I've seen pictures of those. They're really cool.
They are. And some researchers, they think that these carvings on the seals depict celestial bodies and events with a level of accuracy that seems out of place for their time.
So they were stargazing and charting the heavens thousands of years
it seems so
before the telescope?
Exactly.
Those ancient Sumerians were serious about their astronomy.
They were way ahead of the game.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
But Sagan, he always emphasized scientific rigor.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't just jump to conclusions.
He wanted evidence.
Right. And in the Sagan Conspiracy, Zagutis says that Sagan was more interested in understanding how the Sumerians developed this knowledge.
Yeah.
Not just assuming aliens told them.
It's like he was saying, okay, let's assume for a moment that the ancient alien theorists are right.
Yeah.
How would that have actually happened?
Okay, so instead of just saying aliens did it, Sagan was asking what were the conditions that allowed the Sumerians to make these remarkable advancements.
Exactly. He was looking for those plausible explanations, not just jumping on the ancient astronaut bandwagon.
Right. He was considering things like their location, their social structure,
their approach to problem solving.
All of those factors that could have contributed to their success.
But couldn't you argue that those factors themselves might have been influenced by contact with extraterrestrials?
That's where the line between speculation and scientific inquiry gets really blurry.
Right.
Sagan acknowledged that possibility.
Yeah.
But he also cautioned against attributing everything we don't understand to aliens.
Right. Like it becomes a crutch.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, aliens must have given them that knowledge.
And then we stop investigating.
Exactly. We need to keep looking for answers here on Earth, not just in the stars.
So it's not either. It's a both and.
It's about exploring all the possibilities.
Yeah. Sagan believed that the search for extraterrestrial intelligence shouldn't discourage us from exploring the potential of human ingenuity.
Exactly. We have an amazing capacity for innovation and discovery.
But what about those claims that NASA deliberately suppressed research?
Yes. Into Sagan's model.
The one focused on finding physical evidence right here on Earth.
Yeah, if that's true.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that suggest that someone's trying to keep this information from us?
That's the claim that's made in the Sagan Conspiracy.
Yeah.
It feeds into that whole conspiracy theory that there's a cover-up.
Right.
And that the government knows more than they're letting on.
Okay, but why would they focus on searching for radio signals instead of, like, digging for artifacts?
Right.
Or analyzing ancient texts?
I think it comes down to what's considered scientifically respectable.
Right.
SETI. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Which is based on the Drake model, has received a lot more funding and attention.
So they're listening for radio waves instead of jigging for alien artifacts. But wouldn't physical evidence be more convincing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't really argue with a spaceship parked in your backyard.
Right.
Assuming, of course, that you could prove it's not just some elaborate hoax. But you're right.
Yeah.
Physical evidence would be incredibly compelling. The problem is finding and interpreting that evidence.
Right.
It's incredibly difficult.
I bet. It would be like trying to piece together a puzzle.
Yeah.
With half the pieces missing and no picture on the box.
Exactly. And that's why Sagan was so insistent on developing really rigorous methods for analyzing any potential evidence of ancient alien contact.
So we need to be prepared.
We need to be prepared.
Both scientifically and psychologically.
Absolutely.
For what we might find.
It could change everything we think we know about ourselves and our place in the universe.
He also talked about the danger of projecting our own fears and desires onto these hypothetical alien visitors.
Like, are they going to be friendly?
Yeah. Are they going to be hostile?
Are they going to want to help us?
Are they going to want to conquer us?
Or are they going to be completely indifferent to us?
Right.
Just passing through on their way to somewhere else?
It's like all the science fiction scenarios.
Exactly. And Sagan's point was, we need to approach this with a clear head.
Yeah.
We can't let our imaginations run wild.
Right.
We need to be objective.
He was really pushing for that balanced approach, wasn't he?
He was.
Open-mindedness?
Yeah.
But with a healthy dose of skepticism.
That's the sweet spot.
Right.
That's where the real breakthroughs happen.
And this brings us to, I think, another fascinating aspect of Sagan's work.
Okay.
Which is his ideas about the nature of intelligence.
Yeah. It's not just about building spaceships or sending radio signals.
There's something deeper.
There's a deeper level of understanding that we need to achieve if we want to truly comprehend the vastness of what might be out there.
We've gone from ancient Sumeria to NASA conspiracies to the very nature of intelligence.
It's a wild ride.
My brain is starting to feel like it's doing cosmic gymnastics.
But that's what we do here on Deep Dive.
This is deep.
We go deep.
Even for a deep dive.
Right.
What did Sagan have to say about intelligence beyond the human level?
Well, that is a question for part 3 of our exploration.
Right.
Get ready for some truly mind-bending concepts.
That way.
That might just reshape your understanding of what it means to be intelligent
in
a universe full of possibilities.
Okay. Deep divers, are you ready to go even deeper?
Always.
We've talked about ancient aliens, Sumerian mysteries, NASA conspiracies. Now let's tackle, I think, like the biggest question of all.
Let's do it.
What is intelligence, and are we even looking for it in the right way?
It's a question that Sagan kept coming back to throughout his entire career.
It seems like it.
He argued that our current understanding of intelligence is just incredibly limited.
Okay.
We define it based on our own abilities, as if humans are like the ultimate benchmark.
Like we're using a human-shaped cookie cutter.
Exactly.
To define all forms of intelligence in the universe.
And Sagan challenged that. That anthropocentric view, he believed that intelligence could take on forms so different from our own that we might not even recognize it as intelligence.
So instead of searching for civilizations that are building spaceships and sending radio signals, maybe we should be looking for something completely different.
That's the challenge.
But how do you even start looking for something that you can't even define?
It's a really tough question, and Sagan acknowledged that.
Okay.
He said that the first step is to expand our own understanding of the universe and the potential for complexity that exists beyond what we can even comprehend right now.
So instead of looking for aliens that look and think like us, we need to broaden our perspective.
Yes, we need to be open to the possibility of intelligences that operate on different timescales. That communicate in ways we can't imagine or that have evolved in environments so alien to us that their very nature defies our understanding of biology.
It's like we're trying to find a fish in the ocean by looking for something that breathes air.
That's a perfect analogy.
Sagan believed that by studying life on Earth and by delving into the mysteries of consciousness, we can start to break free from that limited perspective.
We can open ourselves up to the true spectrum of possibilities.
So it's not just about building bigger telescopes and sending probes to other planets.
It's about expanding our minds and our understanding of what's even possible.
And that's where I think Sagan's legacy really shines through. He inspired us to look at the universe with a sense of wonder and humility.
To embrace the unknown, to never stop questioning.
He reminded us that searching for extraterrestrial intelligence isn't just like a scientific endeavor.
It's a philosophical one. It's even a spiritual one.
It's about understanding our place in the cosmos.
And recognizing that we're part of something much grander than ourselves.
And even if we never find, like, definitive proof of alien life.
The search itself is what matters.
Yeah.
It expands our knowledge.
It makes us think differently.
It challenges our assumptions.
Yeah.
And it enriches our understanding of the universe.
And our place in it.
Exactly.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think Carl Sagan would be proud of this deep dive.
I think so, too.
We've explored some complex concepts.
Definitely.
We've challenged our perspectives.
Yeah.
And hopefully we've left you with a sense of wonder.
About the mysteries of the cosmos.
Absolutely.
It's a big universe out there.
And on that note, dear deep divers, we've reached the end.
The end of our journey.
Of our Sagan-inspired odyssey.
But it doesn't have to end here.
But the exploration continues.
There's so much more to discover.
Pick up one of Sagan's books.
Gaze up at the stars.
And never stop questioning.
Never stop wondering.
And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive with us, don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah, and subscribe to our channel.
For more mind-expanding adventures.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time, deep divers, keep those minds open and keep exploring.